How you doing? My name is Thunder, and welcome to another episode of the Need for Speed Most Wanted Car Build Series. The next mod up is the third Nissan. Yes, I know we're seeing quite a few Nissans, but seeing as how there were no Nissans in the vanilla game, I guess this is kind of a way to get some out of the way. Requested by Jimmy T, we have this crazy-looking quote-unquote DTM edition Nissan Skyline GTR R34. With a, of course, familiar paint scheme, which makes sense because it actually replaces the BMW M3 GTR. And this is pretty much all I'm just showing here because I can't really show any visuals for this because I can't really do anything with it because of what it replaces and whatnot. Can't even change the paint because this pretty much stays the same. Can change the window tint, but that's not very interesting. So, and since I haven't, and one of the things that's a little bit different is I can't actually even tell if this even if the career one here, thanks to Felipe's save, if this even will have Junkman parts on it or not. But we'll just have to see what happens anyways, taking it around Petersburg. Right, so here's the deal. I can't actually use the career car on this because it just closed down the game for some reason. So I'm just gonna have to use the one that was shown up, that shows in, of course, the main thing. So this is the best I'm gonna be able to do, I'm afraid. But regardless, we're taking it around the Petersburg test track to take this car and get as fast of a lap time we can with 6 laps. The current leader is the car that this actually replaced, the BMW M3 GTR with a 53.10. Now, this car already is hampered by the fact that trying to use the special parts version shut the game off. And there wasn't even like any error message or anything too. That was the weird part. Or even this game stops responding or anything like that. But as it seems to be, maybe this doesn't really need it. I'm not noticing right away the handling on this is ludicrously quick. There's a lot of damn handling in this thing. This thing can easily go through corners like as if they were nothing. So maybe we don't even really need those jump reports. Won't even really mean anything. I mean, look at that, a 56.88 second lap time on the warm-up lap. This thing is ludicrously fast. So it's definitely got that going for it. And I actually quite like the way this thing looks. I think the author of this mod actually did quite an interesting job with the way this car's designed. The only problem is the car sits so low that, yeah, you can see there, the bumpers are kind of going below the road there, which isn't not what it should be doing, but the car is so low, that's why it's doing it. And one thing I also liked is that the guy who did this mod actually replaced the engine sound, so it's got a sound that's pretty much... Oh, whoops. I guess that gets that out of the way anyways. It pretty much gives this car a sound to make it sound like quite like the Nissan Skyline R34 in Need for Speed Carbon, because the Skyline was actually in Carbon, so... Gotta give the guy bonus props for that. I mean, even look at that, even with the slight error, that's still a 58-second lap time. This thing is just unbelievable, to say the least. And now I got an itch on the back of my neck, which isn't helping, but yeah. So whilst this thing can't get the Junkman parts on it, it clearly drives as if it doesn't even need it. So, and one thing I'm very curious is what if I were to play through the career mode of this game and I did the opening prologue bit and I used the Skyline, would it be just as fast as this? I mean, I can imagine it actually would not be as quick because the opening prologue M3 GTR is actually, believe it or not, a different model than the one that you can get at the end of the game, because it doesn't actually go as fast. They use a separate model rather than just different performance parts. There we go, we have a new leader on the leaderboard, a 52.88 second lap time. It is now the new fastest car around Petersburg. That is one hell of a good lap time. I could probably even do better than that too, which is the best part. We could even improve on it. Ooh, and I should probably move my thumb because it's touching the stand of this snowball here, so you probably heard that. I apologize. But yeah, this thing just... It doesn't need the Junkman parts. This thing is already ridiculously fast. This is one hell of a fun car to drive. It's just because of its just insanely grippy handling. It's just, I was not expecting handling this responsive, not at all. Judging by the way I'm doing, I think I'm going to improve my time now. Let's see here. Oh, a 52.32. We're nearly a whole second ahead of that M3 GTR that this very car replaced. This thing's definitely got a lot going for it. So Jimmy, if you're watching this, which you probably will be since it was your suggestion, you gave me a new leader car, and for that you should pat yourself on the back. You must have known how quick this thing was. Although I'm sure you probably were just guessing anyways. Which, to be fair, I was too. I never even knew this one existed until he pointed out. I've been used to seeing some of the cars that are on like NFS cars where this mod comes from, but this one I just completely went by me. Anyways, hang on. Since I already screwed up slap, I'm taking a chance to scratch the back of my neck. There's, yeah, 53.48, even with those slight screw ups. This thing's just crazy. I'm gonna really try to push here to see if I can crack that sub 52 second lap time. And I've already ruined it. Shit. Oh well. 52.32 is just it's not like I would even really matter, because to say the least, 52.32 is already such a huge time ahead of the M3 GT. It's just well, not huge, but you know, a pretty good distance ahead of that M3 GTR now that it doesn't really matter too much. But man, I can't. This thing is just maniacal in a way. It's just so much speed going for it. All right. Anyways, so there we go. That was one hell of a time. And why is my race stats thing not working? That's weird. There we go. Oh, that actually was the fastest lap time at 52.02, even with that little blooper. So if I were to, if that weren't to happen, I would have gotten a sub 52 second lap time. Nice, but I'll still take it nonetheless. So there we go. The 52.02 second means this now sits over a second ahead in first place, beating out the likes of the M3 GTR, the Nissan, my first mod pick, the Nissan Skyline Z432, and the Lotus Elise. So, what can we expect with these mod cars? Are we going to get some more ridiculously fast ones? Who knows? All I know is that you should stay tuned for more. If you have any suggestions for a car mod, please feel free to leave them down below, but make sure if yours has already been listed, don't give me another one until you've seen your first suggestion go up. And if you have any other thoughts or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. And finally, as always, thank you for watching, and take care.